Welcome to our fourth installment of our YouTube channel, Mama Chow and Spicy Wonton. It's almost been a month we've been doing these little episodes, and today we're going to focus on a story in my Mama Chow's memoir about growing up in communist China, leading up precursor to the Cultural Revolution in the middle of the Great Famine in China at the time, which was in the late 1950s, and also hear about the beauty of the human spirit that can shine through even during dark times. So, with that, I will turn it over to Mama Chow.
Hi, everyone. Okay, I was grow up in a very traditional bureaucratic big family. A little bit different than the ordinary children. More, not much different, but it's a little bit. Um, I grew up with living with my grandparents and my father, who was very outspoken. And because of that, I think it's because of that, his influence. So my character is little outspoken, rebellious, and a different than the other kids. I remember one day in my middle school, uh, my sixth grade, seventh grade, I don't remember. The teacher gave all the students, each one, a free ticket to go to see a movie. The movie title is called 大炼钢铁, which means steel mill factory. A worker sacrifices life in order to save the production. So this is a very typical educational movie. Nothing's free. So after the movie, there's a lot of things you have to do follow, like a discussion, your feedback, how do you say something to appreciate your life in China, all those. So you know
And
what I
the,
did?
and yeah, and
Hmm?
before you get into what you did, the steel mill movie is basically propaganda. It's propaganda
Yes.
by the communist government to encourage people to really focus on steel production at the time because they thought that was the best way to kind of advance the economy. But it
Yeah.
also helped contribute to famine, which we'll talk about later. But with that, my mom, Mama Chow can continue her story about what she did when she was told to watch this movie.
Yeah, because actually the government encourage people to sacrifice your personal life for the country. This bottom line. And you know what I did? You cannot imagine what I did. It's very daring. I don't even can do it now if I'm in China. It's very dangerous. So I refund the ticket from one movie theater to purchase another ticket from another theater nearby. The theater name is called 美琪大戏院. I don't know whether it's still there or not. One's Guotai, one's Meiqi, very famous two movie theater in Shanghai. So the movie I purchased the ticket is talking about International Expo in Brussels, 1958. The reason I purchased that movie is I would really like to see what does the world look like other than China. What does people living there dress like, and what does the building look like? All this very curious to me. I was very much interested to just take a look. So I purchased a ticket. I was there for 1 hour, a little over an hour, with different music. See the people wear different, all colorful clothes. In China, there's only gray,
Blue?
blue, maybe something black. But now it's fashion color, right? But by then, the only color you can see. Nobody wear colorful stuff anyway. So after the one some hour, the relaxation, my my consequences shocked me. The next day, when we go to the school, before school class started, the teacher pointed and targeted at me, saying, I did something very bad yesterday. Yes, I stand up. I said, I know that it's going to come to me. So I recognized my mistake. I swear I would dare not to do that again. But on top of that, the teacher said, you are the ringleader What's the ringleader? Because then I know there's 4 or 5 my classmates follow my action
You didn't
for the
know that
ticket.
before? You didn't know they
Not,
followed you?
no, no, I didn't know that. We don't even sit together. We sit
Okay.
separate. They purchase their ticket. They go to see us. So what's my problem, right? So the teacher says my I am a ringleader. I said no. I recognize my mistake. I'm responsible for my own action, but not anybody else. I did not promote them. I did not convince them.
Yeah.
None of my business.
How
So
did how do they say it in Chinese, ringleader?
小集团领导
Okay.
I'm not leader. I'm never leader, but I don't know
Uh-huh.
the ring leader. Ring is like a
Yeah, I know.
small group,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So what did they say after you said, well, I didn't tell them, they just followed me?
But what can you say?
They didn't say because
I
you're only 12. You're like 11 or 12. You're a
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
so they didn't
I'm a
really do
kid,
anything.
right?
Yeah.
I recognize my mistake, so they nothing they can do to me.
But then now you
Okay.
have a story about your father. He had to see the same movie, right? And
Yes.
he had an interesting experience.
Yes. So that night, that day, when my father came home, he said, "Oh, I went to see the movie." I said, "What the movie?" They said, "大炼钢铁." I saw. I did not see that. I should have seen it. I did not see that. So my father said, "They saw the movie. They had a meeting right away. They just like I suspected. They have to discussion. They have to say their feedback, what they should do, what they appreciate, what they
Hmm.
gratitude to the government." So all of his colleagues stand up one by one, saying their feeling toward the government. The action is almost all of them. They have to voluntarily donate or give up few pounds of the rice rationing coupon back
Hmm.
to the government to show their gratitude to
Hmm.
the government, great country, right? They show something. So my father was the last one to stand up. He said, "Okay, so the great government, all those BS, right?" But anyway, he said that. He said, "I would donate all my rational rice coupon
Rice
to the
ration.
government,
Because
rice
people were
rationing."
trying to compete. They're like, oh, I'll donate 1 pound. Oh, I donate two. Or I donate what? So you're saying your father just said, okay, I'll do it
I
even
would donate everything. I
better.
donate all my food back to the government. The secretary of the Communist Party,
Hmm.
secretary of secretary, what do they call?
Anyway, this secretary was at the meeting and basically said to your father, no, no, don't do
Yeah, no, we cannot accept that. You will be starving. No, no, no. So my father came home, said, "I went to the free ticket with the movie. We went to a meeting, but I did not lost anything because I said donate, they don't accept it." So he came home with lose nothing. So
Well,
that's the
because his,
thing.
his response after the secretary said, okay, we can't let you donate everything, he said, okay, then I'll take everything back. So,
Yeah.
so basically, he didn't donate anything.
No, he
Meanwhile,
didn't do anything.
everybody else was trying to show their patriotism and donate 1 pound and 2 pound. I mean, and the context for this, I mean, we're laughing kind of, but it's actually was a very serious time, in Chinese history with the famine, because at the time, for a couple years between 59 to 61 or 62 roughly, more than 10% of the Chinese population died during the famine. And the numbers range, from 15 million to 55 million. So this is a massive problem. And that's why they had rations. And that's why, your father, my grandfather was talking, about giving up rations, or they were talking about this at the time.
So
And
it's a
this,
really good thing. He did not donate anything. Otherwise, every family member of Chow family, we all have to suffer a little bit,
right. Yeah.
to less intake for the food
Yeah.
because of donation.
Yeah. And
So
then, yeah, so it's a good thing he didn't donate it because you guys for sure needed the rice because there was a lot of famine going on in the country at the time. But also, importantly, related to this crazy steel mill movie, it was a patriotic movie, but also it was related to the famine, actually, because in retrospect, historians, even the Chinese government, Liu Shaoqi, right, Mom?
刘少奇
Yes. The
tell me,
president of China in 1962, he also acknowledged that 70% of the famine was due to man-made errors, not because of natural disaster. Maybe 30% was natural disaster. And one of those man-made errors was steel mill production. At the time, one of the priorities for the communist government was to force the people, and especially the workers and farmers, to move into iron and steel production instead of farming. And that actually aggravated the famine and the ongoing problems with famine in the country at the time. But going back to the World Expo, you were saying that people were wearing all these colorful clothes. It looked, like a wonderful place to live in Brussels, maybe compared to where you were living, where it was like black, brown, gray clothes. Did you notice anything else different? Like the buildings, did they look different than
Oh, they are
big?
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally different. By those years, the building design, the blueprint, the only two or three blueprint,
Hmm.
everywhere the same. People
Yeah.
wear the same thing.
You're talking
Mao's
about
also
China, the
in
China's.
China. Yeah, China's building, not totally not like now.
Yeah, but
Now it's
so
so
in the
fashionable.
expo
Yeah,
you saw from Brussels, though, you saw modernization of different buildings, and you probably did not imagine you would see the Shanghai Expo, which we went to in 2010, which was pretty incredible, right?
yeah,
We also went to the Japan Expo, but at the time when you were in China in the middle of the Great Famine, and it was kind of backwards economically, when you're looking at this expo from Brussels, you're probably thinking, wow, this country looks pretty wealthy, has a lot of fancy buildings and people wearing nice
yeah,
clothes and, different colors.
yeah. So I mean, in the future, with my rebellion character or
Rebellious.
personality, there real there is a few more of incident, so we can talk about in the future.
Yeah. We'll talk about this more in our other YouTube episodes. But I hope you all enjoyed this expression of the human spirit, a way to regain your human spirit and dignity in times and dark times. This is an example, for example, living in communist China, but even today, you can argue sometimes we feel like it can be a dark time today. Um, in February 2025. So, hope everybody enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe our channel. And until next week, bye for now.
Thank you for watching.